Hey guys, it's me, Little Squonker, and I'm wearing a scrunchie that's actually crocheted by my aunt's friend, so shout out to her. I got a nose piercing, I got new glasses that are like 2 years old, but you know what? It's fine. Or at least I think these are new glasses, depending on when this is uploaded. Anyway, so I decided that today shall be the day where I decided to recap all of my books, all 25 books that I have read within 2019. And at least a good portion of these, like a quarter of these 25 books, I'm most likely DNF'd. But until then, I will just give my reasons why. Also, if anyone has any, like, nose piercing, like, things, like, that they use to clean, hit a girl up, because Neosporin, I'm not sure if that's the best thing. Anyway, so, yeah, I read 25 books within last year at least. We're gonna count to see how many books I DNF'd. So we're probably just gonna keep a counter somewhere within this video, so editing Gillian will do that. And without further ado, let's get into it. So the first book I read actually was given to me by author Josie Jaffrey, and which is the Gilded King, and this is the first book within the Sovereign trilogy, and this book was so good. Oh my god, I loved reading this book. This book was so good. It was under 300 pages, and yet it took me from the 22nd of December of 2 years ago to the 17th of last year. And I don't know why it took me that long, even though the book was like under 200 pages, but nonetheless it was really good. I love the world that was built. It's not vampire, it's not like Twilight, but it's more like they just happen to suck blood because of it. And it's kind of like the selection where everyone has like a rank, but it's not like based on your trait. It's more or less based on, like, I think it's your income. I'm not entirely sure. But nonetheless, I loved all the characters. I loved the world. I loved this author. And like, she takes so much pride in writing her books, and she's also a really nice person. I've talked to her every now and then, but she's really cool and I like her, and you should definitely check it out. And of course, all the books that I will be mentioning, I will be putting their Goodreads down below. I usually put the Goodreads down below so that way you guys have access to like all the links and stuff, because Goodreads usually does do that. So yeah, 4 out of 5 stars. First book. Woo! Started out with a bang. And then after that, we get to our first DNF, and that is Asper by Rhonda Smiley. Again, this was sent to me by the author, in both Gilded King and Asper were sent to me because of the indie calendar event that I did. If you want to go check that out, I did a whole entire review with another book included in it, so go check that out. The cover, really gorgeous. I love this cover, but it's just that I took a break, and then when I like got back into it, I was like, oh, this is not good. I got confused. The concept of the book was really good. It's just that, like, I felt like I was taken there suddenly, like someone, like the little time thing, like not the time turner, but like the little loophole thing they use in Harry Potter. Like, I felt like it was like that. But it was just like sudden, and someone just like took my hand and went eat, and went whoop, and there I was. And I don't know, I don't think I'm gonna give it another shot. But nonetheless, I think that it was okay. But yeah, first book DNF'd. Sorry. The next book I have, slightly better, and that is Blue Lily Lily Blue by Maggie Seavar. This is the third book within the Raven Cycle. Here's my thing about the Raven Cycle, and I might make a video about this. I don't know how I feel about the Raven Cycle. I think that the Raven Cycle is a good series, don't get me wrong. A lot of people are saying that the Raven Cycle is a lot better than the Wolves of Mercy's Fall, which is her first quartet, originally trilogy. I like Shiver, Linger, Forever, Sinner a lot better than these. I think it's also because I read the whole series on audiobook thanks to Overdrive. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna give it another shot. I don't know if I also want to give it away because it's taking up space on my shelves, but like, I'm not sure. But I also don't want to like waste my time on reading it, but I've tried watching other videos and a lot of people do like it, and it's kind of just worthless to me where I'm like, okay, but like no one else has had like the same experience as I do. But I mean, it was a good series. It's a good series. Like, don't get me wrong. It's a solid series, but it's not like a solid series where I'm like, oh my god, this is great. But yeah, cover, absolutely gorgeous. Oh my god. Like, this cover is probably my favorite cover within the quartet. So yeah, I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. It was decent. I felt like we got more into the world and like what was actually happening, even though this is like pre-ending in a way, and I think it's pretty rad. I like all the characters. I think Persephone's my favorite, but I do also like the girl character whose name I can't remember. Blue! Jesus Christ. Is it Blue? It's Blue. Oh my god, her name is Blue. God, me. Okay. But yeah, I really liked Blue in this part. I felt like she actually like played a role in it. Like, she actually like did what she's known to do, if that makes any sense. But yeah, 3 out of 5 stars. Next book I have, oh my god, look at that, I DNF'd another one, wow, and that is My Squirrel Days by Ellie Kepner. I actually got this as an advanced reader copy thanks to NetGalley, and I don't know, like, Ellie Kepner, every time, like, I kept reading the book, I kept hearing Kimmy Schmidt's voice, and she kind of wrote like Kimmy Schmidt from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. I said Schmidt a lot of times. But yeah, I mean, I think there was like one point in the book where I saw just like all over it, and I'm just like, this is not good. So yeah, I DNF'd that. Second book, whoop. Next book I have is Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare. This is the second book within the Infernal Devices trilogy, and I actually kind of like the Infernal Devices. The Mortal Instruments series is still better in my opinion, but I like Infernal Devices. I like the world. I love how it takes place in London, let alone Victorian London, historical London, I forget the term. But I really like it. I literally said in my review, I think the series is growing on me. Here's the thing about love triangles. They confuse the fuck out of me. So, like, with To All the Boys I Loved Before, like, during P.S. I Still Like You, or P.S. I Still Love You, there we go. Like, John Ambrose, like, I digged him. I liked him. I was like, wow, this is actually pretty good. And like, Jenny Han made it make sense to have the love triangle in. And like, with the love triangle between Jem and Tessa and Will, I think his name is. Yeah, I think it's Will. Yeah, it's Will. I felt like it was forced, like it just had to happen. Because there just happened to be 2 boys, and I'm just like, like, I don't know. The third book's a little bit better. Again, I also listened to this on audiobook, but like, it was still good nonetheless. It was better than, the Raven Boy cycle, so yeah, 4 out of 5 stars. The next 2 books I read, I actually read as nights, like, going to sleep stories, and that is Goodnight Girls for Rebel Good Night Stories for Rebel Girls 1 and 2. By Elena Favilli. I forget who illustrated the two, but I really like it. I like how they are not all read by one author. Like, it's kind of split up, I think, between like 6 people maybe, and it has like young inspiring women to read these stories, and one of them was Philippa. So I love it when it just stops filming abruptly. But yeah, I think I might buy the physical copies of these books because I do work at a Girl Scout camp, and I have gotten told by other co-staff that reading stories to them like will help with the anxiety a little bit. And there was an instance where I literally did not know what to do, and so yeah, I might buy the physical copy for them, but I also might just like tape it just so that way it doesn't get damaged. So yeah. The next book I have is The Silver Queen by, again, Josie Joffrey. This is the second book within the series. It's not as good as the first one, but what the heck? But I was not disappointed in it. It also has LGBT representation, with Cameron, and I'm really excited. So go Cameron. So I did like the romance in it a lot. I also didn't like how the romance was like the focus of the story. Like, it still kept going, like who Cameron falls in love with just like happens to be like a thing that's thrown in there, and it isn't the focus of it, which I really like, because a lot of stories that I personally read, when it is adventure, they tend to make romance the focus of the adventure, or like the focus is like the second priority of the mission that's trying to be achieved in the story. And I unfortunately did not read the third book this year, but hopefully I can finish more series this year. So yeah. Also, big plot twist. What the heck, Josie? That was a big plot twist I didn't expect coming. Again, rated this 4 out of 5 stars. Next book I have is Every Day by David Levithan, and I like the concept. I really did like the concept of this book. I just don't think it was well executed. I haven't watched the movie yet. Maybe, depending on, I might be watching the movie, so if Editing Gillian, like, is going to put in whether or not she watched this or not, just go ahead, do it. So yeah, basically, like, if you don't know the concept of Every Day, it's basically like an entity that just jumps between bodies. It's just kind of like body jumps in a way, but it has to do it within like a certain proximity, and that's the thing I do like. It has to like body jump within like the town that it's in, and one thing I really do like, or that I also didn't like at the same time, was that the entity realized that the body that they were hosting was going on vacation, and basically just ruined the poor life out of it. And yeah, I just remember reading that little snippet, and I'm just like, no, God, please, no, don't ruin the life. Because that's another thing that happened within the story, was that someone's like life got ruined, and like they claimed they didn't know what happened, and now they're just like setting off to find this person and this entity, and oh God, it just I didn't like it. But I don't know why my rating isn't in there, but I definitely rated it a 3 out of 5 stars, because it just says my review is empty, so yeah, 3 out of 5 stars. It was good enough. The book I have is Quidditch Through the Ages, which is technically written by J.K. Rowling, but it says that the book is written by Kenilworthy Wisp. I don't remember that name in Harry Potter, nor the book, so yeah. So again, I listened to this on audio. I also listened to this while I was doing my internship project, or that lasted longer than usual. And apparently it had extra stuff in it. I don't think it mentioned that in the beginning of the audiobook, but it was more from like Pottermore, and I was like, oh, like this is cool. But then I realized, like, I didn't realize like it sucked way into it, and I was like, wait a minute, this isn't about Quidditch anymore. So, but yeah, I do like the history of Quidditch. I wish that like the copy I have, which is like the really thin red copy, I do need to get like the new ones, which is like the really pretty like hardbound edition. But yeah, I mean, it's a cute concept. 4 out of 5 stars. Meh, it was cute. Next book I have is a disappointing book, and that is Dorothy Once Died Stories Volume 2, which is the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion. I forget how dark this series is, and that's why I love Danielle Page for it. She's not, the author, Danielle Page, is not afraid to show the violence and write the violence, and I love her for it. But the thing with like the short stories is that I feel like it can be put into the actual novels, because once you get past the second book, or not the second book, the first book, which is, the first book's probably like 400-ish pages, but once you get to the second book, then it's like 270. Third book is probably like 302, 290, and then I think the fourth book, which I haven't gotten to yet, is again under 200. Like, I feel like those stories can just be like pushed into it. It makes sense to put to put like the side characters as its own story, but I don't know, we'll see. I don't think I left like individual reviews for like each of the stories. Yeah, no, I didn't. The only updated oh wait, no, I said Heart of Tin, 4 out of 5 stars, and then I think I just stopped after that. Because once I got to 59%, I was like, finally in the 200s. So we shall see. But yeah, I think Heart of Tin was probably like my favorite story, but I also did like the Scarecrow. The Tin Man's probably like my favorite one out of all of them, so yeah, there's that. 2 out of 5 stars, unfortunately. I'm not gonna be reading the next short story one, because I don't want to waste my time. Okay. First series I finished this year was last year was Clockwork Princess, which is the third and final book within the Infernal Devices trilogy. These covers are absolutely gorgeous. I think this one has to be my favorite cover within like this cover cycle, before like Lady Midnight and like the Dark Artifices trilogy came out, even though I just explained like the same thing, but still. But yeah, quote, "This book played with my feelings hardcore," and you know what, I'm just gonna read my review of what I said with this. Quote, "This book played with my feelings hardcore. I remember I just stopped what I was doing and my heart just dropped, parentheses. I think we all know what moment I'm talking about, close parentheses. And when the part came up, I just screamed. This is the best book out of the trilogy in my opinion. I think it does build for what will happen in the future. It is not the best series so far. I have yet to read the companion series and the Dark Artifice trilogy, period." Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. 4 out of 5 stars I rated that as, and yeah, it was pretty solid trilogy. Next book I received through NetGalley, and I also got it in an Owl Crate box, so why not? And that is Mirage by Samaya Dowd, and I rated this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Not the best book. I love the world that it was in. I think this is a retelling of something. I don't remember off the top of my head. I don't think it is. The ending really broke my heart just a little bit. I am excited to see the next book in the series I think she has. But yeah, gorgeous cover. Next book I have is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Allegedly, there's going to be a second book to this series, or trilogy or duology or whatever Ernest Cline decides to do. But yeah, I really liked this book. I think that the movie, which I haven't seen yet, hopefully fulfills it. But I've also been told that it's just like a whole bunch of pop culture references, and I'm just like, oh, so we shall see. But yeah, really excited for the movie, which I haven't watched yet. So, Edit and Gillian, if you watch this, just put your opinion in there somewhere. So yeah, really like this book. We are officially in May. Next book I have is Going Off Script by Jen Wilde. I love this book. I love the concept of this book. This is a book I also read in one day because I realized that I was supposed to do a blog post for the blog tour that I was part of. And, yeah. I made it. I made the blog post though. That's all I'm saying. I love the LGBT representation of it. I think what the book stands for is very valid when it comes to certain situations. And the situation is that they are kicking out an LGBT character because the company feels like it. And I think it's very valid for 2020 and the last decade. I love this book with all my heart. I have yet to buy a finished copy of it because I love this book so much. So yeah, 5 out of 5 stars. Probably one of my favorite books of 2019. Second series I finished with in 2019 is The Raven Cycle, and I finished The Raven King by Maggie Steve Otter. So yeah, allegedly, I think this might be a TV series. I don't know. But I feel like I might enjoy this better as a TV series. It just... The love of God. Stop stopping! I'm in June! Anyway, no one told me that this was going to be, like, smut or anything like that. I wasn't expecting all the sexual things that were happening in this book. So just fair warning about that. Fair warning. LGBT, which I didn't mind. But, like, I knew LGBT coming into the book, but I didn't expect all the things that were happening in the book. So a little warning might be nice. I do like the book. I think it's really sweet. Again, I have yet to watch the movie. So Edit and Gilliam, just put it in somewhere. So yeah, really like this. I think if I watched the movie, I might have a better understanding of the book, and I might like appreciate it a little more. But yeah, I also, it is also a really good book for under 300 pages. I think this book was like 273, I think. But then again, I also listened to this on audio. Also, wear headphones when reading this. Wear headphones. I forgot I had another book I really liked. Okay, next book I have. This took me a while to finish, but I'm really glad I finished it anyway, and that is When Elephants Fly by Nancy Richardson Fisher. Let me tell you, Nancy, Miss Fisher, I love you with all my heart. This is a phenomenal book, and if this gets adapted into a movie, I want to be in it. But yeah, this book is super sweet. It takes on not only mental illness, but it also takes, like it gives notice to, animals in zoos and how they are kept and, like, the treatment that they get. And I just love this book with all my heart. She actually sent me a copy of it, and I have yet to do the interview with her, and I feel really bad. But nonetheless, like, she's really nice, and I love her. Go get the book. It's so good. Next two books I had to read because of school. First one being Animal Farm by George Orwell. I didn't expect the Russian Revolution allegory between it. I say school, but this is because that there is a play adaptation of it, and I was a dramaturge for it. So that was fun. And yeah, I really liked it. Comment down below if you actually want to see a video version of my notes and how I took this approach. So yeah, go ahead, do that. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I didn't expect to enjoy it, but here I am enjoying it. I didn't read the script. I read like the actual book itself. Keep in mind, this is completely different from the play adaptation, because the play adaptation is more like a group interpretation, which is basically where the actors are also like saying what they're doing. They're saying their actions, they're speaking their actions. And I read the novel. I read the novel, not the script. I read the novel. And it's so good. Oh my god. I highly recommend it. It's actually under 100, or around 100 pages. I think it's like 97 maybe, but nonetheless, it's really good if you have like an hour or two to like take your time out of the way, or like make a time to go and read the book. Go read the book. It's really good. Next book I read, I had to read because of my, what's it called? My world history class since 1500, and that is Candide by Voltaire. I didn't expect to like this. I felt like I was reading a Wes Anderson film, and if Wes Anderson happened to adapt this film, please do it, because this is like made for him. It's supposed to be a philosophical book, but like I didn't see it as really philosophical. I just saw it as a regular book. I just saw it as a person who wanted to see where life was going to take him, and all these events just started like happening at once, and it was really good. I actually quite enjoyed it. So yeah, I rated that a 3 out of 5 stars, and I rated Animal Farm as a 4 out of 5 stars. The author actually DM'd me and asked me if I were to buy the book. This was like a while back, and I said of course, anything to support you guys. And she asked me as long as I left a review on Amazon and on Goodreads, I would be good to go. And I said okay. And that is Inker by Adia, or I just completely mispronounced her name. Aladia. There we go, Aladia. And it is a poetry book, and it was really good. And this is a copy of my Amazon review, I think. And it is different between Amanda Lovelace and Ruby Kaur, even though there's like a situation going on with Ruby Kaur, which I haven't really been paying attention to. But and I read this when I realized like my reading count was really low, and I was like, well, shit. And so I just decided to read this, and it was really good. I read this in one sitting, I think I did. Yeah, I read this in one sitting, and it was really good. I screenshotted, because I read this on my iPad, a few things that I might use as like monologues per se, so I'm really excited about that. Then I just have to write them down in my monologue book, and then I'm good to go. But yeah, definitely recommend this. It's only like a couple dollars. Go ahead and support her. She's like super kind, and she actually like reached out to me personally, and she probably has with like a few other people, but go give her a follow. Go give her a follow. Rated that book 5 out of 5 stars. Next book I read this because I was asked way back when to do a blog post for it, and that is In Another Life by CC Hunter. And I actually got contacted by Wednesday Books actually to do this review, and I had to DNF it. This is the third book, by the way, that we're DNFing, I think. And I had to DNF it because, again, the concept of the book was a little bit confusing, but I was like, maybe if I read it, like, it'll just, like, dive more into it. And it was basically just, like, a whole bunch of, like, con artists, and he's trying to get her, and, like, she's trying to forget the past, and I'm just like, So, I DNF'd this. Whoops. Alright, we are getting down to the final 3. Next book I read was The Dark Prophecy, which is the second book in the Trials of Apollo series. I think I read the first one. Yeah, I read the first one back in 2018, and I'm now reading the second one in 2019, and I'm probably gonna read the third one this year. I like how Rick Riordan, like, he takes it from, like, where it left off, but I also feel like I wasn't left in like a time loop where I'm like, shoot, what the heck is supposed to be happening? Because like the same mission is that Apollo's trying to get back to being a god and not a human, or not stay as a mortal. And I like how I wasn't like confused as hell by it. This book is a little bit better than the first one in my opinion. I do like all like the LGBT representation within it, and I like how Rick Riordan is just like subtly like putting it in. He's putting it in like it's completely normal, and I feel like that's how a lot of like the books and TV shows and a whole bunch of like other forms of media should be. And Apollo is bi, and I'm like, yes, 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 yes. And I love that for him, so go him. And he kind of puts like Apollo's feelings, because there's a moment when Apollo meets another, I think it's a demigod or a god, and he's like describing his feelings for him, and he knows that like there's gonna be like no chance, but like at the same time like he's allowed to like have these feelings for him, and I really liked it. I liked it a lot. I also highly recommend the series, the series if you haven't already, so go ahead, read it. Read it. Rated that book 4 out of 5 stars. Next book I read this because I did an art analysis of it, and that is The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. This is my first Oscar Wilde book, by the way, and I liked it. I actually listened to audio drama for this, which I found on Spotify, and it was really good. Oh my god, like I cannot recommend audio drama more than ever. I felt like if I just closed my eyes, I felt like I was in the situation, and it's not an audiobook because it's not describing like what's happening, but it's just really good nonetheless. They have like a few books. I just happened to find it because I was trying to find a book for this book in particular, so that way I can I can like finish it quicker, and this was actually a quicker way to finish it. So audio drama, I highly recommend them. It's really good. They have done Dracula, and I might read/listen to that in like October maybe, who knows. But yeah, I really liked Picture of Dorian Gray. I like how grotesque it was. I liked how like horror-esque it was, and like the little like things that were going on in it, and yeah, really enjoyed it. And the last book that I read in 2019 was The Art of Taxidermy by Sharon Kernot, and this was written in not prose, spoken word. I think that's the word I'm thinking of, or the term I'm thinking of. And it's basically just about this girl, and she has this love for taxidermy, and she does it with like all the animals, and her family's not basically accepting it, and yeah. I think I'm also coughing because my throat's dry. That didn't work. Okay. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book nonetheless. It was really good. I fairly enjoyed it. I haven't seen any physical copies of it, but then again, like you can also buy a physical copy on like Amazon. So yeah, I rated that 4 out of 5 stars actually. So yeah, I think we had 3 DNFs. So let me see where that calculation 3 out of 25. So like 12% of the books I DNF'd basically, and that's a pretty high percentage. Like 3 out of 25. That's like almost like around 80, like 88%.